Zambia Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, welcome to Zambia Blog Talk Radio. It's Saturday, 9th October 2021. Hello, sorry, I put my mic on mute. Welcome to Zambia Blog Talk Radio. It's Saturday, October 9th. And Zambia, October is a very special month because that's when everybody gets into the mode or mindset of independence and all those things. So we just want you to keep that in mind. Traditionally, this show, over the years, we've done some special presentations about when we feature some, freedom fighters who come on the show and they do some reflections of what happened during independence, struggle for independence and all those things. So I'm working on 2 shows. Next weekend, we'll probably bring up some of the children from the freedom fighters, and we'll be calling it Growing Up Kaunda, Growing Up Kapwepwe, Growing Up Mainza Chona, Growing Up Musokotwane. That's a series that I'm going to do. So whilst I'm talking, I want to remind you, like Roger says, don't be selfish. Share this and tell your friends that Zambia Blog Talk Radio is on the air as we are going live. Okay, so today we have an interesting discussion, and I have an interesting guest with me today. We are going to be talking about saving, the green economy, and all those things. I've got some interesting questions to ask my guest. Let me just introduce him right now. Please welcome the Honorable Mr. Kasuluba Mashonga, joining us from Lusaka. Hi, Kasuluba. How are you today?
Hello, Mr. Nkama. I am well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I always laugh when people call me Mr. Nkama on the show, because I always tell people Mr. Nkama lives in Mufulira. Yeah, they call me Nathan or Pastor Nathan, whichever you're comfortable. But it's fine. I don't want to disturb whatever or anything. You and I had a discussion about this. So let's begin on a light note. What happened yesterday? Power went off? What was up with that?
So we just found ourselves in darkness. I think the whole nation I hear was in darkness here in Zambia.
Oh,
yeah.
For how long? What happened? What explanation did Zesco give?
Well, I don't think they couldn't even really give a good enough reason. I only discovered it only went somewhere close towards 18, somewhere there, somewhere in the night. Yeah, power was back miraculously. Yeah.
What do you mean when you say miraculously?
Because we can't seem to know exactly what happened. Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm sure there was maybe a fault somewhere also.
Okay, so you said it came back at what do you call it? Around 1800 hours.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you told me that you were at the office when that happened.
Yes, I was at the office trying to finish up a few things. Because us who operate on gensets, when it's beyond 5 p.m., so then for efficiency and all, that would be turned off. Yeah.
Oh.
Then now we were working with Zesco, then power cut. So we just had to leave, vacate the offices because we were in the darkness.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Kasuluba, there's obviously a reason that I brought you here. Thanks for the introductions through Dr. Henu Musoma, who told me about the great things you are doing. Obviously, you are young. And remember, you and I were laughing behind the scenes when I told you that I was going to ask you this question and say, who is Kasuluba? Tell us about yourself, your background. Because normally when we ask these questions, we are talking to people who are old and they begin to tell you all these things they have done in life. But I will still ask you the question so that our listeners and those watching us can get to know you a little bit. So who is Kasuluba Mashonga?
Kasuluba Mashonga is an accountant by profession.
Mm-hmm.
I attend my accountancy qualification from the Copperbelt University,
Okay.
Kitwe, that is right here in Zambia. Yes, I am a fitness enthusiast.
Okay.
I enjoy being
It
fit.
shows. It shows. You need to help
Yes.
Uncle Nathan here.
I really need to. I really need to. I'll share. I think the furthest distance I've covered is 40 kilometers. Yeah, 42 rather.
Running?
Yes, running. Yes.
You were lanting.
Besides running, I'm a writer.
Okay.
I have three articles to my name. All of the articles say something about who I am. The
Okay.
first article being curbing the Zambian economic leakage. It's in line with what the Greening Way is championing.
Mm-hmm.
Together with the second one being enhancing financial literacy in Zambian children, because these are topics I'm passionate about.
Yes.
The third article as well being a healthy lifestyle through exercising also borders on what I do, which is running and keeping fit. I don't like talking about things that I don't do because I want to be practical. So whatever I write about should be something that I am um, I am part of, or rather what I do. Yes.
That is very important.
Yes. Yeah. And then
Okay.
maybe and also in
Were you
addition,
born and raised on the Copper Belt?
I was actually born in Northwestern,
Hmm.
Solwezi, precisely, Solwezi General. But then most of my years have been on the Copper Belt. I started school in Kitwe, then moved to Ndola. So I would say I've grown up in Ndola because my grade 3 up to grade 12 was in Ndola. Up until university is when I moved to Kitwe, CBU.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
So
can
I'm a
speak fluent
Kopala.
Kopala. Can you speak fluent
Yes.
Kaonde?
I'm able to understand, but
Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
at least you're not alone. At least
Next
you're
the
not
two of
alone.
us, right?
Yes.
So give a big shout out to the people in Solwezi in Kaonde. It's great. Say hello to the people in Solwezi.
Wow. Mjibi happy one, eh?
Good job. Good job. Your Uncle Roger is very impressed, and Sarah as well. Miss Sarah there in Suyato, I'm sure she's watching. She's very impressed. Kasuluba, there are a few things I want to raise with you because I know your age group and your generation looks at things differently. Okay. Help us
Yes.
understand. This is one thing I was just wondering to myself. I'm like, the new government has introduced a ministry called Green Economy and Environment. Help your Uncle Nathan from Ufurira understand what does a green economy mean.
Thank you so much, Uncle Nathan. I always love talking about things that I'm passionate about and things that bring development to Zambia, obviously. And it is quite intriguing to learn that most of the economic activities actually border on this same term, green economy, especially in developed countries.
Okay.
So I'll borrow a few excerpts from the United Nations development is it plan, the
whatever they are calling it. You've mentioned United Nations, we understand.
Yes, UN, yeah, is it? Yes. So there they talk about a successful green economy being one that I'll just quickly read something then explain. They say
Okay.
it is one in which the production of goods and services is done with negligible levels of pollution of land, air, and water. It is an economic system in which the production of goods and services does not lead to the destruction of biodiversity and ecosystems. So they are also obviously talking about marine and wildlife things, which is like ecology. Then maybe an explanation of an ecosystem to a layman is a community of living organisms and non-living organisms that interact with each other. So just there, we're seeing to say an ecosystem is where efficiency is promoted in a way that pollution is reduced.
Okay.
Now, pollution, we don't talk about it much, but then when we look at the activities here in Zambia, mining of copper or all these factories, they emit all these gases, being carbon, methane, name them, which deplete the ozone. Yes. So now a green economy is one in which an economy is operating efficiently and sufficiently. The use of natural resources is being properly done. There's no wastage. Production is being done properly. And also health and the well-being of people is encouraged. Going further, a green economy, again, according to the United Nations, operates on five principles, being efficiency and sufficiency principle, which is what I highlighted, being the proper use of resources. So Zambia, which is dependent on copper and
Yes.
a few other mineral resources, we need to use these resources properly. So we need to utilize them in a way that they're not being wasted. So the copper is produced and then it is processed. And then in the process, there's no wastage. And then from there, we make copper cathodes or whatsoever. We properly sell, export, and all that. That's the efficiency and sufficiency principle. There's also the well-being principle under the green economy. The well-being principle is that the livelihood of Zambians or citizens at a global level needs to be promoted and protected. It's not just the financial side, but health and education, to name but a few, need to be promoted. Now, Pastor, or rather, Uncle Nathan, you agree with me that this is what every government strives for, strives to attaining. So
Yeah.
there's efficiency and sufficiency in an economy. There's the well-being principle, whereby knowledge, education, and health are at the core of an economy. Good governance as well is part of the principles of a green economy.
Okay.
Good governance meaning that the government systems need to work in conjunction. So they need to work together without leaving any department lacking. By so doing, they will support each other as a nation, and then the promotion of a green economy will be easily achieved. Also, planetary boundaries principles, they call
That's
it,
number
where,
4, right?
yes, that's number 4. Yes. Here, we're just looking at ecology. It's planetary boundaries principle. So we're looking at ecology. We're looking at animals, we're looking at fish, we're looking at all these other things where they need to be protected and promoted. I
Okay.
have been seeing.
Sorry to cut you short. So this is
Yes.
where the Zambezi controversy thing falls under this one, right?
Yes, that's what I also wanted to say. Yes,
Uh-huh.
to say protect wildlife, this and that. It's their ecosystem, it's their niche. So this is where now they fall under the planetary boundaries principle, where their habitats should not be contravened in whatsoever way. Yes.
Okay.
Then there's also now the justice principle, which is the fifth and last one.
Justice.
Yes. So then justice, we're just talking about equity. We're talking about equity. Um, the citizens need to have the right, if it's the right health care, um, proper rights and all in their places, they have to be there. Also, again, ecology, it's about everyone in their place, they enjoy what is theirs without intervention. To say, again, it's a bit related to planetary boundaries, but it's a bit broad. Yeah, so there's just equity where everyone knows their place without intervention of the other. So that's what a green economy is, maybe if we may try to summarize it that way.
Based on what you have said, on the 5 principles that you have given, and good lecture, Professor Mashonga, good lecture. Uncle Nathan has learned a lot from you. And I was writing notes. You see, that's why I told you we needed to talk about this green economy thing, because
Yes.
when the government said they were introducing a Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, I'm like, is this something to do with it? But you see, you've said it, you've put it very well. You grew up on the copper belt, like you have rightly said. I'm also a copper belt person. A lot of people watching know that. So basically, based on what you have explained, in my understanding, the mining operations in Zambia have contravened this principle to a large extent.
Without a doubt, they have, yes, they have.
So what's the recourse?
So now there, it's where now this ministry is coming in to curb a few of these things that have contributed to pollution. So then there'll be, for example, questions to say, mine emissions. How do we reduce those? Okay, over mining of copper. How do we reduce that? So how do we come up with mechanisms? There now again, technology comes in. So remember, I had made mention to say just the green economy itself has all these other ministries as facets. The Ministry of Finance is coming in. So the Ministry of Technology is coming in. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and all is coming in. So the Ministry of Technology, then it's about coming up with better technology to help mine this copper, this cobalt, because these gases are harmful to the economy. Is it in Mufulira where?
Center.
Yes, center. Yes, things
Hello,
like that.
Musaba. Hello, Bakombe Center.
Yes. So it's if we actually go down, it's almost every part of the Zambian economy is affected in a way by just the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. And so now I think the introduction is trying to come up with ways that will help improve in order that Zambia moves to being a green economy. Remember, being a green economy doesn't mean there's no pollution whatsoever completely or this wastage, but it is the reduction. So reduction of carbon, reduction of at least not because copper is a wasting assets, not over mining copper. So meaning that we're going to say, okay, let's as a nation, agriculture. Let's go heavy in agriculture now as an alternative to just depending on minerals. Okay, agriculture. Then from agriculture, okay, what else? Okay, maybe let's go into production now. Zambia starts producing its own vehicles, or maybe before producing vehicles, we start assembling. I hear back in the days, I maybe I was a baby, I wasn't there then, but you will correct me if I'm wrong. We used to assemble, were those Land Rovers or something?
Land Rovers in Ndola and the Fiat in Livingston. Livingston Motor Assemblers and Rover Zambia.
Exactly. So this is what the green economy entails, or rather the ministry is trying to push for. And also if they work around it very well, I don't know. But part of what the green economy entails is that meting certain taxes. So in European countries, there are taxes meted on overpollution. If this vehicle, yes, so if this vehicle is emitting this and that, whatever, you pay a certain tax. You pay emission tax. You pay this and that. So that car owners now are going to realize to say, no, we think we need to service our vehicles, or we need to reduce on this and that. So it's if properly worked around, it's actually a good source of revenue as well to the nation, and also we're going to operate better. It also poses opportunities to young people.
Oh, excellent. So let me cut you short there. So you founded an organization called Greening Way, and one of the reasons, one of the motivation factors was a green economy. Talk to us about what moved you to start the Greening Way movement, campaign, organization, whatever terminology we can fill in the blanks. So a green economy was part of it, and improve the serving. Talk about Greening Way. Let's talk about the Greening Way.
Okay, so moving now to Greening Way, it is very important for us to first of all discuss the problem before we get to the issues and all.
Yes.
And I'm glad we've already delved into a green economy, because a few problems have already been highlighted. So actually, ZICTA carried out a survey in 2015 to say that, sorry, Zanis actually.
Tell the people what Zanis is and ZICTA.
So this thing for the full names.
Is it Zambia Institute of Certified Accountants, whatever?
No. So that's Zika. That's Zika. That's an accountancy.
Oh, Zika. What's ZICTA? What's ZICTA?
So ZICTA is Zambia. Sorry, what's?
It's okay. They'll Google it. You know how it goes. Oh no, we're doing so well. This shouldn't happen. This shouldn't happen. Kasuluba. No. We are doing so well. This shouldn't happen. Okay, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. Can we, Uncle Roger? Where are you? I'm saying we were doing so well, Roger. Can you?
I know. I know. ZICTA is. I'm hearing myself.
You have got too many studios.
Yeah, I know. Let me turn off one.
What is ZICTA?
One.
Gregory, what is ZICTA? Cheshire, what is ZICTA?
ZICTA is Zambia Independent Communication something.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's supposed to be an independent whatever, but
yeah,
they were not independent.
They like using
that.
They like using that independent terminology, and when they are not independent. Zambia Information Communication Technology Authority. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Mwari. Zambia Information and Communications Technology Authority.
Oh, it's not independent.
Okay. I'm sure Kasuluba will come back. He needs to talk about so, Chairman, you've heard how he has broken down the green economy: efficiency, well-being, good governance. Doesn't it amaze you that it doesn't matter what subject you raise, this issue of good governance always comes up, Roger?
Well, definitely, Chairman. Good governance. If you
Mhm.
look at again our friends here, touches just about everything.
Yeah.
Corruption, it touches.
Mm.
Healthcare, it touches. Well-being of the people, it touches.
Hello?
Yeah. Mhm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yes,
Sorry.
Kasuluba, continue.
Sorry. So I don't I think it was my connectivity here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm. So you were
Yes.
talking about us identifying the problems which
Yes.
you have already highlighted in the explanation of what a green economy is.
Yes. So I was actually talking about Zicta, to say they carried out a survey, which is not Zika, the accountancy body. Yeah. So it's Zambia Information and Communications Technology, actually.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
Yes. So the survey they carried out was that there's a problem, being that out of the 900 tons of waste, which is empty cans, tins, jugs, and plastics that are lying around in Lusaka,
Mhm.
74% of that is actually not collected.
Mm. Why?
74 is not, so it's lying around. And for some reason, uh, okay, it's also, it also borders on the fact that we don't have a high-tech recycling plant in Zambia.
Mm.
The way these other developed countries are. We do have a few companies that are into recycling, but then they're not as big. So they are not, so we're not yet at that level. And these are some of the things that the greening way is trying to push for, and will strive to push for
Okay.
in the coming years. So now, why did I start with the problem? The issue is that if we have such waste lying around, which emit carbons and other gases that are harmful, which we are told through climate experts to say they are harmful to the atmosphere, and the depletion of the ozone layer, which results in droughts or rainfall patterns that are not steady and that are not stable. In the hot season, you find that it's raining.
Yes.
In the rainy season, it's really hot. So it's due to these climatic problems that are coming from the issues that we don't pay much attention to. So there in itself gave birth to greening way. But
Okay.
not only that, also on the financial side. So the other research that was carried out also actually signified to say 86% of Zambians do not save. Uncle Nathan, that's alarming. That should cause us to actually shake and not even be laughing about it, because developed nations have done
Mm.
so through a strong realization that financial literacy is very key. It starts from saving. If you're able to save, then now you're able to invest, then you're able to do all this and that. So then now, for me, it was about how do I marry the two then? There's the green side, and then there's
Yeah.
also the financial side. So then a solution was reached to say, how about a message that promotes both
Okay.
financial side as well as the green side? But then how? The other problem, ngwes, these little monies are neglected here in Zambia, but then they are ever being put into circulation. If and it's been discovered to say if you can't pay attention to the little, you can
Mm.
never pay attention to a lot.
Of course.
So the,
Mm.
the Green Ingo decided to say, you know what, let's start from the seemingly nothing, the ngoes.
Mhm.
If someone can value 5 ngoes, then they can value 10 ngoes, then they can value 1 kwacha. If you can value 1 kwacha, it would be easier to value a 20 kwacha, etc.
Mm.
It's I believe it's the same thing even there in the States, where if you can't value a cent, because cents have value, you can use them for convenience, you can buy refreshments and a few other things. which is what we need as well here in Zambia.
Okay.
So the movement was, or rather the message was, use empty cans, tins, and jugs to save coins. So why empty cans, tins, and jugs? Because the more households decide to hold on to just one empty can, tin, or jug per house, it amounts to so much. If
Yeah.
we look at it individually, we're going to think to say, I mean, what can one bottle do? But look at it from the perspective of 1 million houses. It means 1 million empty cans, tins, and jugs will not be lying around, but then they'll be used for a noble cause. And obviously, after that has been established, then also now moving other motions of saying, okay, how can we recycle better? How can we improve these areas better? So I don't know if I've answered
Yes,
how the green.
good start. Here are the two questions that I have for you. In your the articles that you have written and the concept that you have done on greening way, there are two things that I picked from there. My first question is, don't you think the inability not to be able to save comes from the position? I know you are laughing, you probably know what I'm going to say. Comes from the position of a hand to mouth situation. We are not able to save Kasuluba to live up now. What's your response to that? Those listening who don't know Vapina, it means we are poor.
You know, I like that question because I've actually gotten it. I've actually gotten it a lot
of
and
times.
before. Yes. So if we talk about poverty or abject poverty or ubupina, as you've put it, what do we mean? Okay, that's the starting point. We say hand to mouth. For starters, let me talk about the working class, then we'll talk about the unemployed, right?
Yes.
If we talk about the working class, we'll look at the minimum wage requirement. There's a minimum wage requirement that doesn't allow anyone to be paid the 10 kwacha, or a 10, 20 kwacha, or 100 kwacha if you're in formal employment.
Okay.
It's illegal. Meaning the threshold is way above. So if I'm going to say, okay, someone saving, so if someone makes, for argument's sake, we pick a random amount, okay, 200 kwacha, right? Just for this discussion. From that 200 kwacha, 20% of a 200 kwacha is a 20 kwacha. Okay? That's 10%. 10% of a 200 kwacha is a 20 kwacha.
20 kwacha.
Meaning 200 kwacha minus 20 kwacha gives us what?
180.
Gives us a 180. So now, being short of a 20 kwacha, does it make someone poor?
Shala
say,
bulire shabunga.
Are you really going to suffer forever just because a 20 kwacha? Kufipanga fa toke na ponyapo 20 kwacha pali 200 kwacha. Translated as, I have lost a 20 kwacha out of this 200 kwacha. So then, because if someone loses money, they're able to survive. But for them to consciously take away 20 kwacha and save, they become poor. Are you seeing what I'm trying to drive towards? It's a mindset and the mentality. So why don't you trick your mind as a Zambian to say, okay, let me pretend that I've lost this 20 kwacha. How would I survive? But in the actual sense, you haven't lost that 20 kwacha. You have actually saved the 20 kwacha.
Put it in the jar.
Put it in the jar. Or but then it comes with so much discipline, because then you need to, it would need to be a lesson for another day. But then what we're trying to say is, from the 200 kwacha, the 20 kwacha might seem to be so material. Fine. Take out a 1 kwacha from a 200 kwacha. How much does it leave?
199.
199. So 199, if you can constantly start with a 1 kwacha, if it's too much, a 50 ngwe the most important thing is progress. And then
Okay.
eventually you're going to realize to say, you know what, I need to increase. And then if you start putting away these amounts of money with a purpose, the desire will grow even bigger. And then you become more principled. And then as an individual, you start living way below than you used to. I wanted us to start with a little amount, let's say 200 kwacha or 100 kwacha, so that it's easier for us to move. So meaning if someone is able to save from a 200 kwacha, a 1,000 kwacha becomes a plus.
Okay.
Because then it becomes an income. The difference between 1,000 kwacha and 200 kwacha becomes an income you didn't foresee. So there, it's easier to maintain how much you've been saving or increase a bit. The only problem that we have is the demands go up as our income increases, and it becomes a problem. But it's very doable. Now we come to the informal sector, the informal side. Let's say this person is running a popcorn machine. They're running a popcorn machine in the street somewhere in Kalingalinga there, Uncle Nathan. So then there, let's say they're making a 10 kwacha a day, right? A 10 kwacha a day. They need to, the whole important thing is realizing to say, whatever I am doing is for the betterment of my tomorrow. So again, the principle of just the way, remove just a little. If you're going to blow the entire income when you're knocking off at 20 hours, then there's now a problem.
Okay.
Yes, then there's the problem, because you're working and you're knocking off late. So you can say, okay, from this amount, okay, let me set aside a. Then from there now, we start building and start growing. Isn't it intriguing that people are unable to save, but they're able to drink, they're able to go out? The same people that are in abject poverty.
I like that. And everybody has got a cell phone, right?
Everybody has got a smartphone for that matter.
There you go. There's a reason I wanted us to thank you, Patricia, and everybody watching for the encouraging words. There's a reason I raised that question deliberately, because that's the excuse that we give to say we are a hand-to-mouth population or people, they whatever. So you broke it down. We don't have an excuse. The second thing I want you to address in your concept paper you sent me, you addressed the issue of as a people, citizens, we are not green environment conscious. Talk about the issue you talked about, to say Zambia Breweries is forced to continue to import the bottles from South because of the poor, what do you call it? The poor culture of people returning the empties. Talk about that. I want you to address that issue.
So again, it comes back to the same. You know, once we make use of these empty cans, tins, and jugs, if it's drink, the drink is done and all that. We as Zambians need to be proactive and realize that the reuse is supposed to be important. So when these drinks run out and all, it needs to be more or less like a circular economy. So how a circular economy works is there's efficiency, there's reuse. So it's like going the same circle, nothing is being lost out. So after we buy whatever that we've bought, collect a number of empty bottles, tins, and jugs, instead of throwing them away, why don't I even go to Zambian breweries and say, hey, I'm bringing back these bottles at a fee? Don't we think it will even help the same abject poverty we're talking about? Because then they're going to appreciate. Zambian breweries is going to say, oh, wow, we're saving on the money that would have spent outside
to import.
Why are you bringing back? Yes. So I'm glad you've asked this question, because it also drives us to the point that we can even reduce importing. We can even reduce on importing of these things, because these bottles are reusable. They, even if they are damaged, they can easily be remade and redone at a more reduced cost
than
obviously.
importing finished a complete product.
Yes, because that's more expensive. There are all these unforeseen hidden costs and transportation costs and all those costs, all those taxes that are meted on importing. But then maybe that's where organizations like the greening will come in. Because it's not every Zambian that's going to realize to say, oh, it's important, unless there's maybe an external party or an organization that's going to tell you to say, you know what, this is very important. Yeah. And you can actually even make a fee out of doing this. Yes. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Okay, you have. Yeah, I mean, I think it's in Kulirwa. It says it's really making sense, especially in the area of losing money. People lose money even when shopping in Chisokone market as much as 3,000 kwacha, and they survive that month. Imagine it's being saved. Okay.
That's actually my elder sister. Shout out.
Okay, there you go. Big sis supporting the young brother. That's the way it's supposed to be done. Yeah, I agree with her. She's right about that. And the issue that we've addressed about us being poor, we don't have enough to save, the mindset. We need to change the mindset. So what am I supposed to say? Why empty jugs, bottles, and containers? Which you call, what do you call them? Green banks? Why
green banks?
Yes. Yeah, why empty jugs, bottles, and containers?
Because these are non-biodegradable. Most of them are plastic. So meaning that if they are thrown around, they won't rot. They won't become part of the soil. They'll go in the soil, and then when all these chemical reactions happen, scientists and all know better, they'll emit what are called greenhouse gases.
Whoa.
These greenhouse gases are what will go into the atmosphere to deplete the ozone layer. So that's why the focus is on empty cans, tins, and jugs, based on the fact that they're made of plastic and non-biodegradable.
And you see, the important point, going back to the earlier part of the discussion, Kasuluba, which you have mentioned, is that you mentioned a simple principle of numbers. 1 million households keep one container. That's 1 million containers taken out of the economy, right?
Yes.
Now we are 18 million in Zambia, right? 18
exactly.
million.
Yes.
So if we say, let's just say 2 million people, each one keeps a jug. 3 million people, each one keeps a jug. You are doing well, Professor.
And now, Uncle Nathan, just in addition to that, so we're now working with, if 2 million people each kept a jug, we're working with 2 million jugs, right?
Yes.
Now imagine if these were to be returned to bottling companies, or you had made mention maybe Zambian breweries. Would they need to import?
No, they won't. Of course, simple principle.
Exactly.
Is Coca-Cola still, I don't know, is Coca-Cola still done by Zambia bottlers? You know, some of us are in ancient times.
No,
Coca-Cola, Fanta, who does that? Is it still Zambia breweries? Is it one company? And you see, here's the other thing. Naifima Kasuluba, Naifima whiskey, those bottles as well, okay?
Yes.
All those, the canned drinks,
yes.
all those canned drinks. And I know there are so many canned or bottled stuff out there. I know the economy has diverse and it's expanded and everything else and all that stuff. So how are you? This is a huge campaign.
Yes.
This is a huge campaign. What strategy have you employed? How are you doing it?
So the biggest strategy at this point is media appearances like this, whereby now individuals and Zambians are going to realize to say, oh wow, they're going to get the word out there, and then they're going to see the numbers, then they're going to know to say, wow, so this is what's going on. Yeah, it's the biggest strategy at this point, and also just showing people the importance of, no wonder it's about tying green with financial sustainability, to show people to say, you know what, go on a challenge for a year or 6 months, save money. Them not realizing that they are saving money and saving bottles. Before they know it, they would have saved a number of these bottles. And then it will be easier to push emotion now to say, hey, ZBT, oh, sorry, not Z, ZB, maybe Zambian Breweries, please come in. And there's this problem that's there also. The other ones would be working with a number of stakeholders that would really benefit, for example, from this, because a number of them would find this beneficial to them because it would cut on costs. Yeah. Back then, in the previous times, we also used to workshops as well. In the concept note, there are workshops. We've done workshops with the Bank of Zambia before, as well as the Consumer and Competition Protection Commission, just over these awarenesses and the importance. Also going out like flash mobs. There was this time we just went at one of the malls in Kitwe just to carry out a survey to see how much money is actually being left in the name of 20 kwacha 99 or this and that, which was really quite an alarming discovery. Yeah, so those are some of the ways that are being employed at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
We shall partner with Zam. We shall partner with you and run with this thing. Those of you who are watching or listening to us for the first time, you can follow us on Facebook, Zambia Blog Talk Radio. Like our page so that you know what is happening. We are on Twitter as well at Zambia Blog Radio, and on YouTube, ZBTR TV. Please tell a friend, subscribe to the channel so that you know what is happening. So Kasuluba, this is what we're going to do. You, Greeningway and Zambia Blog Talk Radio, ZBTR, we're going to partner together and do this. Those of you who are watching, if you are learning about this for the first time, whether you live in Zambia or you are out of Zambia in the diaspora, find a container, a jar or something. If you start doing that for the first time, I want you to let us know about it, okay? Come back on the show. You might be able to win something. There are a lot of events coming up, and we want to encourage people to attend those events. Zambia Blog Talk Radio will get a ticket for you to attend and whatever is happening. So if you are watching this show right now and you are hearing Kasuluba for the first time and you are reading about this Greeningway for the first time, and you go find yourself a jar, a bottle, a container, whatever, start throwing coins in there, whether it's pennies in the US or ngwes in Zambia, wherever you are, and come and post a message here and tell us that you listen to Kasuluba and this is what you decided to do. You might just end up winning an award or something. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Dr. Musanje. Great to see young Zambian participating. Green energy, very educative discussion. Dr. Musanje is one of the people who is part of this platform for many years. So your primary target when you started your primary thank you, Agnes. Your primary target was CB Copperbelt residents.
Yes.
Secondary was Zambian citizens, and potentially international community, which brings in the diaspora community. I want you to address those three categories. Why CB? Why Copperbelt residents?
So Copperbelt was because it started from there. Started from the Copperbelt University, the American corner. Credit to CBU. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah. So that's where the initiative was born, from CBU. So the whole idea was to grow it where we were at that point, because it doesn't make sense. I think it's important to have a target and to move in steps, not just starting with one thing, Zambia or things like that.
Yeah.
So initially it started there on the Copperbelt. not because of any segregatory reasons, but because it started from there. And it was just out of passion and the desire. So meaning that resources were not going to allow ya in Mazabuka, ya in Lusaka, ya this and that. So eventually it was going to roll out slowly. So start from the copper belt, because the Greening is a child of the copper belt. It was born there. Then from there, the entire Zambia. Afterwards, because money issues don't just affect Zambia, the aspects of a green economy don't just affect Zambia. Then we move. We go to the UK, pennies, save Zambia. We go to the US, save cents, save Zambia. I don't know in Canada what we call the smallest denominations.
Uncle Roger.
Yes. So that's the reason why.
Okay, excellent. So anybody can do this, right? It's not just in Zambia. Even us out here, we can do
this. Yes, it's non-segregatory. It's across borders, because we all depend upon money, and the aspect of a green economy affects the entire globe. Yes. And it would be good to see people in the diaspora like yourself, Uncle Nathan, and Varoja, to come and show the public, to say, this is my green bank, I'm putting these coins or these monies. It would be amazing, and it would be an encouragement to that Zambian who feels like it's not important to do so, if people like yourself are doing that. And also it's important to mention, to say, ngwes or coins or whatsoever are only the starting point. People can save any amounts. The key is for you to be able to save what you can afford without being worse off. Because people struggle to save, in that they think you have to save whatever you have. No. Saving should not be burdensome. It's patience. I like the analogy of the Victoria Falls, to say, you know what? The Zambezi River starts from little drops right there at the Kaleni Hills. Drops, if you see it, you'd be like, what's happening here? But those drops are what turn into, or rather become, the mighty Zambezi River, one of the biggest rivers in Southern Africa. The Zambezi River then now, all of a sudden, turns into the Victoria Falls, one of the 7 wonders of the world. And one of the marvels that all these European tourists and all run in order to just marvel at the wonder. It's just from little drops. Now, what are those little drops? It is the little coins that you're putting in that green bank, because those little drops of coins you're putting in there will give you the momentum and the zeal to say, let me do more. And then when you're able to do more, then you'll be able to, now you'll be a living testimony, because who knows, someone might just come and buy a vehicle just from starting with coins. And that big accomplishment, that vehicle or that house you're going to buy, or that big investment, is the Victoria Falls.
Amazing. You can all see the t-shirt that Kasuluba is wearing. Oh, wow. I like that. Okay, Kasuluba and I were talking. So he sells those t-shirts for 150 kwacha. I'm buying 2. He wanted to send me one for complimentary, but no, there's nothing for nothing. No, I'm
in the US.
Yes.
In Texas.
So when I get it, I'll do a show wearing that, and I'll show my jar or whatever.
Awesome.
So everybody watching, I want you guys to get ready to be able to buy a t-shirt from Kasuluba, support him, and bring your jar and container of coins and send me a picture. You'll be able to win something. How do people get in touch with you?
Before I think I talk about how people can get in touch, I need to preach. I need to.
There you go.
So I started doing this mid-September, because there's
last month.
Yes. The
Kasuluba, Sean says she'll make it, put it closer to the camera.
No, don't. So the whole idea is that on the 1st of October, a challenge was rolled out being called the Ngwe Challenge, whereby people are going to be saving or rather putting away whatever amounts of monies they can afford. Lock that money up for a year. So
wait. So every day for 1 year, whenever I'm able to, I should put something in the jar.
Yes.
Now, what if Inga Chaisula, what do? I bring another one?
So yes. So remember, meaning it's important to start with a bigger one. That's one point. It's important to start with a bigger one because we're doing it for a bigger cause. And also, if you replace it with a bigger one, remember that we're concerned about maybe Zambian breweries importing. So we should bear in mind that this time around, if we keep these these bottles, jugs or whatever, we are going to be delivering them. We'll get in touch with these bottling companies and all, so that we promote reuse. So now everything that we're doing is for a purpose, but it's important to start.
So the idea is promoting reuse.
Yes.
Okay.
Because what we're doing is reuse. In the near future, we want to get into recycling, serious recycling in Zambia, like big time recycling. That's one of the visions of the greening way.
Okay.
Also, if we do that, we're reducing waste. What waste are we reducing? Those empty cans, tins, and jugs, those 900 tons of which 74% are not collected. So we are preventing them from being wasted. So we're reducing the wastage.
Okay.
Coming now to your question of how can people get in touch. So the most active page is the Facebook page, Greeningway. So it's spelled with, there's just one N in between.
One N, okay. Greeningway.
Pronounced as Greeningway, but then it's Greeningway. Yeah. Then reach out via the page, and then from there maybe drop a message. And also you can catch me in person. My Facebook username is Kasuluba Mashonga. In case of anything, drop me a message or something. Then from there, we'll get talking and interacting.
Okay. So that's what we are going to do. Zambia Blog Talk Radio is partnering with Greeningway, and we are going to do that. So this is what I'm going to do, Kasuluba. When my T-shirt arrives from you, first I need to pay for it. No free stuff. No. We need to stop that. Even Uncle Nathan doesn't get a free T-shirt. I'm buying 2 T-shirts. I may even buy more than that, but I'll definitely get one for myself and one for my wife. Then when I get the T-shirts from you, I'll appear on the show with the T-shirts with my jar of ngwes, of what do we call them here?
Sense, yes.
Yes, I just realized I've got so many coins all over the house.
Wow.
When we come from wherever we come from. Kasuluba, thank you. So if you want to get in touch with him, Greeningway on Facebook and Kasuluba Mashonga on the page. We hope to get in touch with you, my friend. This has been good. We'll continue this conversation, okay?
Definitely. It's really been a pleasure. And I'm just glad that even the diaspora now is buying into the initiative, which is amazing. Yeah,
it's very important. Yes. Okay, everybody, we are going to drop here and log back in. Coming up is open forum. I like to say where we throw grenades and everything goes. Today we are looking at what copper can transform our economy. Kasuluba, great stuff. Have a great weekend.
Great weekend. Thanks, Uncle Nathan and Uncle Roger.
All right. Okay, everybody, let's drop and come back.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.